Good morning. Welcome to Energy Works. Today we're talking about who's afraid of fear. So sometimes we have fear, or sometimes we've had fear in the past, and then that makes us scared of being fearful again. And so we do everything in our power to avoid fear, or even anything that might look something like fear. So we want to be able to, as Susan Jeffers would say, feel the fear and do it anyway. So I wanted to clear energy around fear this week. So what is it that you fear? And I think often the things that we fear we need to address, because if we don't address them, I think we ask for those things to be presented to us and feel that it's awful to be presented with the fears that we have. And I often joke that I have 7 children, and that every child has presented some of my fears to me, and I've lived. So it's not without repercussions, of course, and there are aspects of fear and of the difficulties that we face in life that I don't like to face, and I wish I didn't have to face, but we still must face, and so then we need to be able to be okay about what we're facing. So good morning to those that just jumped on. What are you fearing, or what have you feared in the past that you're scared that might present itself again? And let's say I'm okay with my fear. I easily face my fears. Even though I'm fearful, I love, accept, and forgive myself. All right, so let's go into our solar plexus chakra, which is about willpower and ambition, and the ability of us to be able to face the things that we are fearful of. What's coming up is taking action. So is there something that you're not taking action in? What is it that you need to take action in and you haven't been taking action in? All right, and also the spleen comes up. So the spleen, of course, is part of your immune system. And, of course, at this difficult time, we want to have an immune system that's highly functioning, an immune system that's going to be able to support us in the best way possible. So, okay, thank you for commenting. So exercise, yeah. So fear that exercise is harmful, or fear that exercise is beyond what you want to do. Thank you for commenting anyway. Good morning to everyone else, and please say hi if you're there. And I guess our spleen is there, as we said, to fight bugs. But if our spleen gets a virus, or if our thymus gland, which is also part of our immune system, gets a bug, often we do get quite sick, and that can set us up for long-term difficulties. I guess, if I would say one of my fears would be to hurt people. So, being a chiropractor, you want to help people to get better. And so my fear would be, would I cause harm? All right. Now, this is in the third chakra. I'm fitting in is what comes up. And I guess at the moment we are being polarized by the different factions regards how our government is insisting on, their course of action. And so, some people are with that and some people are against. So Roz has got the uncertainty of a lot of what's going on in my life. Yes, and there is a lot of uncertainty, isn't there? I know, Roz, you've got pressing family matters at the moment. All right, so the other side of it is being excited about all the possibilities that lay before us. So I guess in, the same time as what is happening is dangerous and difficult, I guess there are possibilities of how we deal with things, or how we become creative in terms of what's happening at the moment. Okay, and new doors are opening for me every day. Okay, so something in our timeline is holding us up here. So age 7, age 10, age 13, age 16, age 20. Let's go, it's safe to exercise. I trust my body. And let's put in their mind too. I trust my mind, my spirit, to have the strength to get through these difficult times and just not lose faith in ourselves, our bodies, God or our government, all those things. Okay, so we've got generational patterns stuck here. Dad's side, dad's mum, and the women. Also generational on mum's side, mum's mum, also women. More generational baggage on dad's side this time. And this is both men and women in this occasion with the dad's side of the family. Okay, more generational baggage, mum's side, mum's dad. So I think that's all sides of the family tree, isn't it? More women than men, though. So we're still clearing here under it's safe to exercise. Some of us are doing good in our exercise in the lockdown, and some of us are not doing so good. And I'm going to expand here. So we're doing it safe to exercise. So we could say also it's safe to exercise my body. It's safe to exercise my faith, my trust. Age 7 comes up again. And age 10. All right, so what was happening for you when you were 7 or 10? Why did it become hard to have trust and faith and, be okay with your body? What happened? All right, so now we can go into our base chakra, which is about belonging and fitting in. And I guess, as we're a child, we learn the rules of our family. Because Gassie's mentioned it's hard to trust anything. Well, at the moment it is hard, isn't it? Yes, if we say I have trust, it's weak. I'm willing to trust, it's weak. Oh, okay, so dog was taken away. Oh, well, that would have been very hard, isn't it? So it's like the trust that people or comfort will be there. Okay, by the council, right. And did you get your dog back? What's coming up here is poor boundaries. I guess there's things that we can have power over and there's things that we can't. And I guess in theory we would be, so the dog didn't come back. Oh, okay, so I guess I forgive myself that the dog was harmed. And, I forgive counsel, which I guess that would, extrapolate to, trusting governments or trusting authority or trusting, people that have unrighteous dominion. All right. I know when to say no comes up. All right. I easily eliminate all that no longer serves me. Margaret, trusting the government. I guess we have to put our money where our mouth is, isn't it? Go run to serve in council or to serve in the government so that we can have good people in government that we can know that are trustworthy and that are willing to do the hard yards and stand up for the truth. And of course, people that stand up at the moment are often ridiculed. So it's like we have to be, even though we're fearful to be ridiculed, we have to be willing to face ridicule sometimes to do what we need to do. So Nikki's mentioned we're also in lockdown for 3 days, but might be extended, have been sick with pneumonia and recovering. Yeah, that wouldn't be much fun. Okay, so some generational baggage here, still on that first chakra from mum's side of the family, mum's dad's side, and the men. Also something stuck in our neck, so C3. Yeah, buying into other people's negative beliefs. So I guess we have a decision to make, and there is collective fear and then there's our own personal fears. So sometimes we have to look at our own personal fears and not buy into the collective fear. It's hard not to, but, the things that happen bring up our own issues, and we need to deal with whatever issues are brought up by the fear and, by the restriction and by what's happening, and address our own fears so that we can be back in the light and we can be, an anchor point for others around us, but firstly ourselves and our families. All right, so low self-esteem is coming up here, and feeling limited. Also what's coming up is indecisive, feeling that indecisiveness. All right, we're going back to that third chakra now. So feeling that power that we have to make a difference, or power to make things change, or power to help ourselves make a change. All right, I'm seeing that all my needs are being met. All right, what needs are not being met at the moment? All right, I like this affirmation. I have the power, strength, and knowledge to handle everything in life. This is from Jenny Rosengren's book. So I have the power, strength, and knowledge to handle everything in life. And I guess that's how we become powerful, isn't it? By doing the difficult things, by facing our fears and not letting our fears prevent us from living, or prevent us from reaching out, or including other people in our lives, or including new experiences in our lives. All right, I see myself as equal. And I guess in that I can imagine we need to believe that we are able to face all our challenges, and to see ourselves looking back at the challenge saying, oh, yeah, look what I learned from this. I grew a lot in that difficult time. So Cassie's mentioned here, Nikki, it's also testing, you need laughter. Maybe watch some comedy today. Yeah, good idea. Okay, some more generational baggage here. Dad's side, Dad's mum's side, and the women. All right, also some cranial adjustments would be helpful. So we're going to plug in as if you've had a treatment on your cranial bones. And of course our head can jam up when we're very stressed. So I guess if we're unable to deal with the stress right now, it can cause our body to not function correctly. It's like we're blowing a fuse. All right, so what's coming up here? So Margaret's mentioned too hard to handle anything these days. I think it is very hard to handle, but I also think that, we just got to do baby steps. Do what you can, take one little baby step in the direction that you want, even though it feels scary. So what's coming up here in our head is loss of direction in life, forgetting what's important in life, and focusing on all your problems. So I guess we can focus on the problems, but what about if we were to focus on the solutions? How might it feel if this problem was resolved? How would I act, feel, act, think, and see myself if things were different? Now we need values. All right, so the value of tolerance comes up. So I guess our ability to tolerate or to build up tolerance would be the ideal situation, because tolerance doesn't necessarily mean taking abuse or putting up with rubbish, but it's being, I guess, non-judgmental of how people react, because everyone has their own fears that are in the background with what's happening. And also there must be generational fears, for those of us that have European parents or English parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. They went through wars, and these fears are in our genes. So we're also here to process the generational fear that we have inherited. All right, this is a funny one. Yes, Catherine mentioned her relatives went through wars. Yeah, it's a lot, and you can imagine the baggage in the genes that we inherit. I'm tolerant of my in-laws and am no longer triggered by their words or actions. And I guess, seeing how people react, to bad times. My tolerance extends to all creatures, great and small. All right, so tolerance requires us to have a fair, objective and compassionate attitude towards those whose opinions, beliefs and practices and ethnicity differ to our own. We are all the same, our pain is the same and our desires are the same. So your vibrational intolerance sends a clear message to the other person that they are not accepted as they are. And that is an attack, whether conscious or not. So, I guess we have to clean up our own act. We want other people to be kind and tolerant of us, but perhaps we're intolerant of other people or other races or other religions or other, beliefs at this time. Understanding that people are at different stages in their growth and their ability to cope with what's going on. So tolerating people's reactions, even when they're not desirable, not to put up with rubbish, but to be kind as people learn and grow. All right, so also here, like our core beliefs, what we really believe underneath, sometimes we have to challenge a little. All right, I'm ready, willing, and able to change. Sometimes we just want to stamp our foot and not change. And, the world has changed and, sometimes we want to stamp our foot about that too. So I am living my dream. And sometimes I think we need to think about what we really love to do and how we can make that happen. All right, my motives are pure. I believe in myself. All my feelings are valid. After all, our feelings are just directions, or direction guiders that we're perhaps not exactly on the right path. So just some stuck feelings here, because sometimes we have feelings that are very uncomfortable. All right, bothered by a lack of communication from others. So I would like you to meditate or, have a thought about a person that perhaps isn't communicating with you that you would like to communicate with, and to imagine a conversation with them and, to send them a message of love, even if you pray for that person or you meditate over that person, to send them the vibration of love. Speaking of vibration, let's check where we're at. Yep, so we're not vibrating very high right now. So we need to raise our vibration, probably as a world. What's coming up is shame, the feeling of being in shame. So timeline shame, so age 9, age 23, 52 for those that are that old. Also generational shame, dad's dad, and a mixed group. All right, so that's brought us from shame now up to fear, which is around 100. So this is what Dr. David Hawkins says about fear. He said people living under dictatorship rule, which is kind of what's happening now, or those involved in an abusive relationship find themselves at this level. There is a sense of paranoia here where you think everyone is out to get you. Suspicion and defensiveness are common. All right, again, generational baggage here. Dad's side, dad's mum's side, and both men and women. All right, so now, take a big breath in and out. All right, so we're lifting our vibration. So Catherine's mentioned I have recurring eczema on my eyelids and I don't know if it's emotional. I feel that I fear that I am fear-free right now, but the eczema is getting worse. Any thoughts? Okay. So what's coming up is unresolved feelings of irritation. Okay, so age 7 comes up for you, Catherine, which I know it does a lot. What happens to us in childhood is stuck in our body. It doesn't often get released. And so, what was hard to see when you were 7? And also that we talked about that C3 earlier, there's a connection too. So you need some sort of structural treatment as well, I think. And there's also a generational component here too from your dad's side of the family, dad's mum's side, and the women. And some stuck emotions in our genes. All right. Also here, feeling anger towards mate. Yeah. So Catherine says, it's all about my mother. Age 7 is a thorn in my side. Yes. There was a post I put up a while ago about a lady that had an a near-death experience. She basically drowned in a waterfall, and she met the Saviour. And she said every awful experience she had to go through, but she also could understand the feelings or feel the feelings of the persons involved. So I guess the child within you is still hurt that, that your mum would leave. I guess also understanding your mum's perspective, that perhaps she wasn't coping and she didn't know, what to do about what was happening in her life, this powerless feeling. So being sensitive to your mum's feelings. So mum's feeling of frustration. And probably you feel frustration as well because things aren't moving or things are stuck at the moment. Let's say I'm okay without my eczema. So we're talking about who's afraid of fear. What are we fearing, and, what are we scared to face? Are we okay without our problem? Often the problems that we have are there to, process baggage that we have, process family baggage, process personal baggage, process generational baggage. All right, more generational baggage again on Dad's side. And these things, even though, we went in on a particular person, often they will apply to multiple people. So, what is it that you inherit from your father that perhaps is hard to understand or to tolerate? Oh, I'm overcoming COVID right now. Wow. We send you love and hugs. So are you in bed sick, or are you dealing with the flu, or how does it feel for you, Kelly? So throat chakra comes up here. All right, I'm comfortable expressing my authentic self. Yes, in bed sick with flu symptoms, no taste or smell, headaches. Right. What parts of yourself do you feel you're having trouble expressing right now? Okay, so love opens the door for me to feel whole and complete. Okay, so loneliness. Right. So I guess sometimes we can be in a crowd and feel lonely, or sometimes we can really literally be on our own and feel lonely. All right, so there's a generational component in the loneliness from Dad's side, Dad's mum's side, and the women. What comes up here, wanting to avoid feeling. And, often that's when we want to eat something, isn't it, or drink something, or smoke something, or, our addictions kick in when we don't want to feel our feelings because they're hard to deal with and hard to process at times. And let's put a questionation in here. Why do I so easily process my feelings? Yeah, so you sleep. Yeah. All right, so there's also a generational component preventing us processing our feelings from mum's side of the family, mum's dad's side. Again, the women. And let's say others are safe with my feelings. Age 9, age 15, age 54, and some more stuck feelings. All right, so feeling dominated by a parent. Okay, so let's go into our crown chakra here, because this is where we have to come back into trusting that the experiences that we are having is for our growth and learning, even though it feels pretty awful right now. All right, sense of self connected to owning possessions. And age 10 comes up. So what is it that you wanted to own when you were 10? And also age 16, 42. More generational baggage here, mum's side, mum's mum, and again women. So let's just say I'm free to be me. I'm free to create, free to expand. And I mean spiritually wise, not our waistlines, but that has been happening. All right, now we're going to go into one of the higher chakras, the 10th chakra. So, Kelly, my parents divorced and Mum moved us to the Gold Coast. Mum gave away my toys and I lost my family, friends and belongings. Yeah, that would have made you feel awful. I guess what got lost there too was your safety. So I'm safe. Age 7 again, 11, 13, 16, 20, 42, 45, 50. All right, nice affirmation. I exist and rejoice. And, maybe just like Cassie suggested for Nikki, we need to look at some comedy and we need to, dance around the house. We need to rejoice that we are alive, that we have a body, even if it may not be the perfect one. So age 7, my grandmother died. I was very close to her. So that loss of connection, which I guess is what's happening right now, isn't it? You being separated. Okay, so interestingly, the value of joy. All right, my vision boards and wish lists are concrete evidence of my body and spirit working towards that goal. So maybe now in lockdown it is a perfect time to do a vision board of what you would like to manifest, because it is a time of manifestation. Things are changing. Things are we need to evolve and change ourselves as these things change. All right, so there's one affirmation here. I replace all negativity surrounding others and myself with positive energy. I practice this daily to strengthen my ability to remain positive regardless of what is going on around me. I fortify this. I have strong filters and am able to observe other people's energy without having to feel the emotions and be dragged down by it. Insults and negativity wash off me like water off a duck's back. All right, so let's go back to our vibration and see where we're at right now. So 100, that's a lot higher. So it's important that we do things that bring up our vibration, that we live our life at a high vibration. Now, at times it's hard and we do get stuck in those negative or difficult times, and sometimes these times are from the past and we keep falling back into that hole, which is an old fear. And, we're fearful of the feelings that we had and fearful of experiencing that again. All right, so let's go into our heart chakra. All right, now what's coming up here is criticism and hate of self. And I guess we're not going to be so good at loving others if we don't love ourselves. So learning to love the good and the bad in ourselves, face the fears that we have around our body or our situation or, the world, around all those things, facing what we don't like and looking for the good anyway. I think about Corrie ten Boom. She was a Dutch woman and her family hid Jews in their house and were busted, and her and her sister ended up in the concentration camp. And her sister, they were very good Christian women and, helped a lot. And her sister would teach her to be grateful for everything. And apparently in the section that they were in, it was full of fleas. The fleas were fierce. And because of she said to her sister, I can't be grateful for the fleas. But she said, no, you've got to be grateful for everything. And apparently because of the fleas, not many of the Nazi leaders would come into that area because they couldn't stand the fleas. So they got left alone a lot more. So that was the blessing of the fleas. So what are the fleas in your life right now that we can learn to be grateful for and see the benefit of? And there's an oil that comes up here. So sandalwood oil. Renee said, just catching the end. I'll watch back on the replay. I've been intentionally raising my vibration recently and feeling the benefits. Makes so much sense. Hope everyone is keeping healthy. Thank you, Renee. So this is an important thing that we do need to raise our vibration. All right. I'm very still, listening more than I speak, instinctively knowing when something is missing or not quite right. All right, I reach beyond my current confines and belief systems, leaving behind any attachment to fame, wealth, or the need for acceptance, experiencing true humility, devotion, and love for the infinite. All right, I maintain my connection to the divine and follow its direction. My mind is stilled and present. So you might like to diffuse some sandalwood oil in your times of prayer and meditation and thinking and, time that you're taking to lift your vibration. You might also like to use elevation oil, which is the joyful blend, because there are still joy in things perhaps that are difficult, but, I guess, it's time to do things that perhaps we have been putting off. Like I keep thinking about, I want to put my photos in order. So, putting things in order in our life that we've perhaps been putting off could be a thing to do right now. And those books, that was from Kim's Essential Oil Affirmations. And we're just going to go into the crown chakra. What's coming up here is Alzheimer's. So I recently heard part of a series that was about Alzheimer's, and there's also a book called The End of Alzheimer's. So it's like we need to take action right now to prevent this from happening, because there's no treatment for it. So we must work on prevention. So the things that would prevent Alzheimer's are, cleaning up our diet, getting out of insulin resistance and diabetes, making the changes that we need to, doing the exercise and the things that we need to do to help our body function correctly. Also doing, detoxifying any heavy metals we might have or chemicals in our body, or even detoxifying our stuck emotions, doing, using the emotion code on yourself, or using other things that you know how to do to rid yourself of the things that are preventing your brain from working to its best ability. All right, I'm worthy of divine love and protection, which I think we all have to tune back into, isn't it? That we feel that we're going to be loved and protected and helped through individually our difficulties. All right, I am enough regardless of what I own. I clearly see my own divine nature. I am fun and spiritual. My family is safe. All right, something to clear from our radiant circuits. So radiant circuits are like inner mum. And whenever, someone needs something, mum can be the nurse or the driver or the seamstress or the cook or the counsellor. And often radiant circuits are about mother issues. So what comes up here is I forgive my mother for her mistakes, and I am forgiven for my mistakes, and I forgive myself for my mistakes. And mistakes are just the opportunity to do things differently, isn't it? All right, it's okay for me to learn on the job. Okay, so let's just check in. How are we feeling? How is our fear level? Do we feel like we can face our fears? Do we feel like we can work through our fears and still take action? And I send you love, and I have faith in you that you have the capacity to face your fears, and that you will be strengthened as you face your fears. And the fears that you're facing right now will help you to be stronger and better to face the whatever challenges will come your way. And life will always have challenges. So it's important for us to keep growing and improving and learning, and to, feel that we have the capacity to deal with all aspects of our life, even the shady, crummy little corners that we don't like. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming on the call today. If you need extra help, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can either book a clarity call, which is www.calendly.com/Tanya Ormsby /clarity call. And that's like a 20 to 30 minute call just to check where you're at. If you want to work a little bit more intently, you can book online to www.a1health.com.au. Or you can just put a message in our Energy Works group. There's lots of energy people there that would love to help. See if someone calls you, and also you can just send me a private message. So enjoy your day. Be yourself. Don't be frightened to look for joyful things and to take time to enjoy all aspects of your life right now. See you.